AITA for refusing to give my sister the inheritance our grandmother left me after she called me a gold-digging failure for 10 years? My phone lit up at 3 a.m. with 17 missed calls from my sister Jennifer. I knew something was wrong because she hadn't spoken to me in 3 years. The voicemails started sweet, then desperate, then accusatory within the span of 20 minutes. Please call me back. We need to talk about Grandma's will. I can't believe you're ignoring me right now. You always were a selfish bitch. I sat up in bed, my hands shaking as I listened to each message. Our grandmother had passed away 2 weeks ago. I'd flown out to Portland for the funeral alone. Jennifer didn't show up. She sent a text that said she had a work conference she couldn't miss. Our grandmother raised us after our parents died in a car crash when I was 8 and Jennifer was 12. She gave us everything despite living on a teacher's pension. She made sure we had dance lessons, summer camps, college funds. But Jennifer and I had taken very different paths. She married her high school boyfriend at 19, had 3 kids by 25, and built a life in the same small town we grew up in. I went to college 3 states away, got a marketing degree, and moved to Chicago for work. Jennifer called me selfish for leaving Grandma alone. She said I abandoned the family to play career woman in the big city. She said I was chasing money and status while she did the real work of family. This went on for years. Every holiday I came home, she'd make little comments. Must be nice to have no responsibilities. Some of us actually care about family. I hope your fancy job keeps you warm at night. I'd visit Grandma every other month, call her twice a week, send money when she needed house repairs. Jennifer lived 20 minutes away, but I found out later she only visited once every few months. She was too busy with her kids' activities, she'd say, too overwhelmed with her life. But on Facebook, she played the devoted granddaughter, posted old photos with Grandma, wrote long tributes about family values. People ate it up. Meanwhile, I was the absent granddaughter who chose career over family. At least that's what Jennifer told everyone. The lawyer called me 4 days after the funeral. My grandmother had left me her house and her entire estate. $340,000 total. The house was worth $280,000, fully paid off. The rest was savings, investments, and a small life insurance policy. Jennifer got $10,000 and some jewelry. I nearly dropped the phone. The lawyer explained that my grandmother had updated her 6 months before she died. She'd left a letter for me. It arrived 3 days later, handwritten in her shaky script. My darling girl, I'm leaving you the house because you're the only one who truly saw me these last years. Jennifer loves me in her way, but she was always too caught up in her own drama to notice when I needed help. You flew out when I had my hip surgery. You paid for the new roof without me even asking. You called every Tuesday and Friday like clockwork. You remembered my stories and asked follow-up questions weeks later. Jennifer visited when it was convenient or when she needed something. Last Christmas, she asked to borrow $5,000 for her husband's business. I gave it to her, but she never paid it back or even mentioned it again. I love you both, but you earned this. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty. Love, Grandma. I cried for 2 hours after reading it. Now Jennifer was blowing up my phone because the lawyer had informed her of the will's contents. I called her back at 7 a.m. She answered on the first ring. Are you fucking kidding me right now? No hello. No how are you? Just rage. Jennifer, I just found out myself a few days ago. You manipulated her. You turned her against her own family. That's not what happened. You swooped in with your big city money and made me look bad. I didn't make you look like anything. I just showed up. I have 3 kids. I have a life. I couldn't drop everything to fly out every time she wanted attention. My blood pressure spiked. Attention? She had hip surgery, Jennifer. She fell and broke her wrist. These weren't social calls. You always have to be the hero, don't you? This isn't about being a hero. I loved her, and I didn't. Is that what you're saying? She was crying now, angry tears that made her voice thick. I'm saying that love is a verb. It's action. And Grandma noticed who showed up. So you're just going to keep everything? The house, the money, all of it. That's what Grandma wanted. Split it with me. It's the right thing to do. Jennifer, you got $10,000 in jewelry worth at least another $15,000. You got $340,000. Do you know what I could do with that money? And there it was. The real reason for the 3 a.m. calls. What's going on, Jennifer? Silence for a long moment. Then she broke. Dave's business failed. We're $60,000 in debt. We might lose the house. My stomach dropped. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, so now you care? Now that you're the rich one with grandma's money. That's not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fair? You got to go to college. You got to build a career. You don't have 3 kids bleeding you dry. You don't have a husband who can't keep a business afloat. And now you get everything while I drown. I'm sorry you're going through this, but nothing. You owe me. We're family. I don't owe you anything. The words came out harsher than I intended. Wow. There it is. Your true colors. Jennifer, for 10 years you've called me selfish. You've told everyone I abandoned Grandma. You didn't even come to her funeral. I told you I had a conference. You didn't have a conference. I checked your Facebook. You were at your daughter's volleyball tournament. Silence. You've been checking up on me? I wanted to know why my sister couldn't say goodbye to the woman who raised us. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. Then help me understand. But don't call me at 3 a.m. demanding money and calling me a bitch when I'm still grieving. She hung up. I sat there shaking, adrenaline coursing through my body. My husband, Mark, came into the kitchen. That sounded intense. I filled him in on everything. He listened quietly, then said, "What do you want to do?" "I don't know." "Do you feel guilty?" "Yes. And also no. And also angry." He nodded. "She's your sister. She's in trouble. But she's also been cruel to you for years. Is it wrong that part of me wants her to feel what I felt? All those years of being called selfish and unloving. It's human. It doesn't mean you have to act on it." The next day, Jennifer posted on Facebook. It's amazing how money changes people. Family means nothing when greed takes over. Some people will do anything for an inheritance, even alienate their own family. Praying for guidance during this difficult time. She didn't name me, but everyone knew. Within hours, I got messages from relatives I hadn't heard from in years. My Aunt Deborah. "Is it true you're keeping everything? That seems wrong." My cousin Mike. "Family should come first. Your sister has kids to feed." My Uncle Robert. "Your grandmother would be disappointed in this divide." I didn't respond to any of them. But then my mom's best friend from before she died reached out. Carol had known us since we were little. "Sweetheart, I need to tell you something about your sister." My heart raced. When your grandma was sick last year with pneumonia, Jennifer called me. She asked if I thought she could contest the will if your grandma left you more. She said it wasn't fair that you had more money and would probably get more inheritance too. I felt like I'd been punched. This was a year ago. Yes, before your grandma even got really sick. Jennifer was already planning. Did Grandma know? I don't know if she knew about the will conversation, but she did tell me Jennifer asked her for money multiple times. For Dave's business, for the kids' school, for their mortgage. Your grandma gave her thousands. She never told you because she didn't want you two fighting. I thanked Carol and hung up. My hands were shaking again. Jennifer hadn't just been distant. She'd been using Grandma as an ATM while simultaneously bad-mouthing me. I called the lawyer. "Can you tell me how much money my grandmother gave Jennifer in the last 5 years?" He pulled the records. $47,000. Jennifer had received $47,000 in loans that were never repaid. Money that came from Grandma's retirement savings. Money that could have made her final years more comfortable. I felt sick. That night, Jennifer's husband Dave called me. "Look, I know things are complicated, but we're desperate." His voice was tired, defeated. Jennifer's pride won't let her ask properly, but we're about to lose everything. "Dave, did you know Jennifer got $47,000 from Grandma over the last few years?" Silence. That's not accurate. The lawyer showed me the records. Checks, wire transfers, all documented. Some of that was for the kids. It was supposed to be loans. Did you pay any of it back? We meant to. Things just got tight. And now you want more. Your grandmother would want you to help family. My grandmother wanted me to have this money. She wrote me a letter explaining exactly why. Can I read it? No. So you're really going to let us lose our house? Dave, I'm sorry you're struggling. But Jennifer has spent 10 years telling me I'm a selfish, gold-digging failure. She skipped Grandma's funeral. She's already received $47,000 that was never repaid. And now she's trashing me on Facebook to get more. She's scared. So she attacks me? That's how fear works. Look, I'm not saying she's handled this right, but you have the power to help. Doesn't that matter? I hung up. Mark found me crying in our bedroom. What would make you feel right about this? He asked. I don't know if anything can make this feel right. Okay, different question. If money wasn't an issue, if you had 10 times what you have now, would you want a relationship with Jennifer? I thought about it. The Jennifer from before all this? Yes. But the Jennifer who calls me names and manipulates people? I don't know. So this isn't really about the money. No. It's about 10 years of being told I'm not good enough. And now I'm supposed to prove I'm good enough by giving her what she wants. He nodded slowly. What if you offered her something, but with conditions? Like what? Like she stops bad-mouthing you. She goes to therapy. She acknowledges the last 10 years. Something that shows she's willing to change. I considered it. The next morning, I drafted an email to Jennifer. Jennifer, I've thought a lot about your situation. I'm willing to help, but not the way you're demanding. I'll give you $30,000 toward your debt. That's in addition to the $47,000 grandma already gave you over the years, which you never mentioned. But here are my conditions. You delete your Facebook post and post an apology for misrepresenting the situation. You agree to family therapy with me to address our relationship. You acknowledge in writing that this is a gift, not a split of the inheritance, and you won't contest the will. You don't ask me for more money for at least 5 years. If you refuse these conditions, you get nothing beyond what grandma already left you. This isn't about punishment. It's about boundaries and respect. I miss my sister, but I won't be treated like an ATM or a villain for honoring grandma's wishes. The choice is yours. I sent it before I could change my mind. 2 hours later, my phone rang. You want me to humiliate myself on Facebook? I want you to tell the truth. And therapy? You think I'm crazy. I think we're broken, and it's going to take work to fix it. $30,000 isn't enough. It doesn't even cover half our debt. It's more than you're entitled to. Entitled? I'm your sister, and you've treated me like garbage for a decade. Because you deserve it, you left us. And there it was again. The real issue. Jennifer, I didn't leave you. I grew up. I built a life. That's not abandonment. It felt like it. Her voice cracked. When Mom and Dad died, you were little. You got to be the baby. I had to be the responsible one. I had to take care of you. And then you just left. You got out. And I was stuck. I'd never heard her say this before. You chose to stay. You chose to marry Dave, to have kids young. Those were your decisions. I didn't feel like I had choices. I felt like I had to hold everything together. And you got to be free. So you punished me for it. Silence. Maybe. Jennifer, I'm sorry you felt trapped. But that doesn't give you the right to make me the villain. I know. Those 2 words hung in the air. So what do you want to do? I need the money. I'll do your conditions. I need you to mean it. Not just do it to get the money. I don't know if I can promise that right now. But I'll try. It wasn't the answer I wanted, but it was honest. Okay. Send me your debt information and I'll wire the money tomorrow. Thank you. She said it quietly, almost a whisper. And Jennifer, I do love you. I always have. But we can't keep doing this. I know. She hung up. That afternoon, she posted on Facebook. I want to apologize for my previous post about inheritance. I was hurting and I lashed out at my sister, who doesn't deserve that. Family is complicated and I'm working on being better. Thank you for your understanding. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. I wired her $30,000 the next day. She texted me a simple, received it. Thank you. The following week, she called. I found a therapist who does family sessions. She has an opening in 2 weeks. Okay, I'll fly out. You do that. Jennifer, I want this to work. I want my sister back. I want that too. I think. The first therapy session was brutal. Jennifer unloaded years of resentment. About being the responsible one after our parents died. About feeling like grandma loved me more because I was the baby. About watching me build a life she felt she could never have. I talked about the constant criticism. The way she made me feel guilty for every success. The years of being called selfish for living my own life. The therapist let us both talk, then said something that changed everything. You're both grieving different losses. Jennifer, you lost your childhood when your parents died. You had to grow up fast. And you've resented your sister for getting to stay a kid longer. Jennifer nodded, tears streaming down her face. And you, she turned to me. You lost your parents and then felt like you lost your sister too when she started resenting you. You've been trying to prove your love ever since, and it's never been enough. I started crying too. You both love each other, but you're speaking different languages. By the end of the session, we were both exhausted. Jennifer drove me back to my hotel. I really am sorry, she said. For all of it. I know. I'm sorry too, for not understanding how hard things were for you. Grandma made the right choice, leaving you the house. What? You were there for her. I was dealing with my own stuff. She knew you'd take care of it. I wish she'd left you more. She left me what she thought was fair, and she'd already given me so much. I just didn't want to admit I'd burned through it. We sat in silence for a moment. Are we going to be okay? I asked. I think so. Eventually. If we keep working at it. Deal. She hugged me before I got out of the car. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Over the next 6 months, things slowly got better. We had weekly phone calls. We did monthly therapy sessions. She stopped making passive-aggressive comments about my life. I stopped walking on eggshells around her. We even laughed together for the first time in years when we found old photos of us as kids, covered in mud, grinning like idiots. But then, 8 months after Grandma's death, something changed. Dave's new business started taking off. They paid off their debt. Jennifer got a part-time job she actually enjoyed. Things were looking up for them. And then she called with an unexpected question. Can we buy the house from you? Grandma's house. Yeah, we've been thinking about it. The kids are getting older, we need more space. And it would mean a lot to raise them in Grandma's house. My heart sank. I'd been planning to keep the house, maybe retire there someday. Jennifer, I don't know. I'm not asking for a discount. We'll pay fair market value. We've saved up for a down payment. We can get a mortgage for the rest. Let me think about it. I talked to Mark. It's your house. Your decision. But what would you do? I'd ask myself if I'm holding on to it for the right reasons. Are you keeping it because you want it, or because you don't want Jennifer to have it? I hated that he'd asked that, because I wasn't sure I knew the answer. I thought about it for 2 weeks. I drove out to Portland and walked through the house alone. Every room held memories. The kitchen where Grandma taught me to make her famous apple pie. The living room where we'd watch old movies on rainy days. The guest room where I'd slept every time I visited. But here's what I realized. The house was full of my memories with Grandma. But it could be full of Jennifer's kids' memories too. Maybe that's what Grandma would have wanted. Not for the house to sit empty or be a vacation home, but for it to be lived in, loved in, by family. I called Jennifer. I'll sell you the house, but not at market value. What? I'll sell it to you for $200,000. That's below market, but it's still fair. And I'm doing it because I want those kids to grow up where we grew up. Are you serious? Yes, but I have one condition. What? Every year on Grandma's birthday, we come back. You, me, the kids. We make her apple pie and tell stories about her. We keep her memory alive in that house. Jennifer was crying. Deal. Absolutely deal. We closed on the house 3 months later. On moving day, Jennifer's youngest daughter found a box in the attic. It was full of letters. Letters Grandma had written but never sent. Letters to our mom, her daughter. Letters about raising us, about missing our mom, about hoping she was doing right by us. One letter was addressed to both of us, dated just a month before Grandma died. My dear girls, if you're reading this, I'm gone. And I hope you figured out how to love each other again. Jennifer, you gave up so much to help me raise your sister. I never thank you enough for that. And sweetheart, you grew into such a strong woman, but you never stopped being that little girl who needed her big sister. I split my estate the way I did because I knew it would force you both to deal with your relationship. Money is just money, but sisters are forever. If you're fighting about what I left behind, you're missing the point. I left you each other. Don't waste it. All my love, Grandma. We both stood in that attic, reading the letter together, crying. She set us up, Jennifer said, half laughing, half crying. She knew exactly what she was doing. Evil genius Grandma. The best kind. That first year, on Grandma's birthday, we made the apple pie. Jennifer's kids helped, getting flour everywhere, just like we used to. We told them stories about Grandma's terrible singing, her obsession with game shows, the way she'd always have peppermints in her purse. Jennifer looked at me across the kitchen table, covered in cinnamon and memories, and said, "Thank you for giving us the house, for not giving up on me. Thank you for not giving up either." It wasn't perfect. We still had hard days, old resentments that flared up. But we kept showing up, kept going to therapy, kept choosing each other. Last month, Jennifer called me with news. I'm pregnant. Surprise baby number 4. I laughed. Congratulations. Does this mean I'm the fun aunt again? You never stopped being the fun aunt, even when I was an asshole about it. True. I want you to be the godmother. Really, really. because you showed me what it means to show up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I'd be honored. Now I'm sitting here, writing this all out, trying to figure out if I made the right choices. Did I owe Jennifer part of the inheritance? Should I have just given her everything she wanted to keep the peace? Was I wrong to set conditions on my help? Here's what I know. Grandma left me that money for a reason. Jennifer and I are closer now than we've been in years. Sometimes love means boundaries, not just sacrifice. And family is complicated, messy, and worth fighting for. But I still wonder, should I have handled it differently? Was I the asshole for standing my ground? Or was I the asshole for even considering giving her more when she treated me so badly? So I'm asking you, if someone treats you terribly for years, then demands your inheritance when they're in trouble, do you owe them anything? Where's the line between being generous and being a doormat? And how do you forgive someone without forgetting what they did? I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Because even now, with everything that's happened, I'm still not sure I got it right.